Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is actually going to be me participating in a tag that was created by one of the amazing girl bosses in the May Collective community, Laura. I'm gonna try to pronounce her last name, Erin Henry. Please correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm so sorry if I butchered that, but her information will be left down below. But she actually created a tag which is all about just women who are here on YouTube showing what is on their vision board. So that's exactly what I am going to be doing today. This is my vision board here. The board itself is actually just a plain cork board. I bought it from Kmart, I believe, but I know Officeworks also has the same ones. I'm gonna leave the information down below. And the clear push pins are actually just from Kiki K. And again, I'll try leave it down below. They are pretty old, but I know Officeworks also has the same push pin. So all of that can be found down below if you want these for your vision board. But if you like the video, I would very much appreciate it if you gave it a big thumbs up. And of course, if you are new around here, then consider subscribing. Also, just to mention that if you do stay to the end of this video, what I'm actually going to be doing is showing you exactly how I created this picture here. So it's of me and my best friend Oprah. We actually met inside my computer and I'm going to show you exactly how I made that happen. But in all seriousness, I'm going to show you how to make one of those pictures so that, you know, if there's an idol that you want to meet or if there's someone that you look up to, you can create a picture just like that with them. So actually starting from this side of my vision board, pretty much what these four images represents is actually a huge goal of mine that I have, which is to open like a collaborative workspace that is also an event space and a bar. So as you may see, I am taking some steps in the right direction towards that dream with the new series that I have here on my channel, The Business Bar. But I would love to have a place where, you know, entrepreneurs could just come together and it's not so serious, but we could host awesome events and, you know, you could work at the day and then have a networking drink at night. I would really love somewhere specifically for female entrepreneurs like that here in Melbourne and then hopefully eventually around the world as well. I don't know if you know this or not, but I was actually a bartender since the age of 18, pretty much leading up to only just a couple of years before I started my business. And I also worked for a wine company for 5 years. So that truly is where my love of just cocktails and wine does come from. You know, it's not all about getting drunk. It's just about people getting together and celebrating life over a delicious drink. But that is absolutely what I would love to do with that. This image here kind of more represents like me hosting an event and speaking. You know, I want speaking to be a huge part of my career. I'd love to travel around the world and speak, but I'd of course love to host my own workshops and speak at those. Unfortunately, this year I was going to start, but they kind of did get put on hold, but I will be starting that up when the summer does recommence. So that's also what this image down here actually represents. It's of Marie Folio speaking at Super Soul Sunday. Not necessarily saying I want to speak at Super Soul Sunday, but I would love to be able to have that impact on people by just getting out there, sharing my stories, speaking in front of them, and networking with them on a more personable level. This image here is actually a penthouse apartment right in the center of Melbourne. I just really consider myself to be a city girl through and through. I'd love to live at the beach. I'd also love to live in a different country at some time in my life. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I would love to settle down in a beautiful big penthouse apartment here in Melbourne with floor-to-ceiling windows, lots of light, amazing interior, and lots of space for my fur babies to be able to run around. So that's what that kind of represents. Up here, these are more just about the growth of my business and this channel here on YouTube. This is my bank account with $1 million in it, so if you want to transfer it, you know, details are there, it's fine. But here is actually just, it's someone's channel that I've kind of laid my information over the top of to represent that I would absolutely love to grow this YouTube channel. I'm definitely not afraid to hide that as one of my visions. I think anyone who is on YouTube has the goal of growing their channel, but I really, really love to have this massive global impact, and I really do see YouTube as being a vessel to get me there. So that is what that represents as well. This image here is actually just a quote. It says, "Give me some internet, a coffee, a laptop, and watch me build an empire." This isn't so much of a vision, but it's just a gentle reminder that you don't need to have everything at your fingertips or your ducks in a row to be able to create something amazing. You know, I love to remind my clients and all of you that really you have the you have such an amazing opportunity available to you by just having an internet connection. You know, you have the entire world that you can connect with, and if you have enough drive and an awesome idea, you really can build something memorable and incredible out of that. So it's just a reminder, yes, okay, there's a really hot babe on there standing in front of a chartered private jet probably, which would be awesome to charter a jet, but you know, it's not on my vision board. But the quote itself, it really just is too representative that you don't need, you know, it's not about circumstances, it's not about where you're from or how much money you have, it's just about having that connection to the rest of the world and doing something awesome with it. And having some coffee on the side as well, because I love me some coffee. These two images here actually just represent the kind of style vision that I do have for myself. I really do like that kind of very chic but kind of punk rocky, a little bit drag queeny, kind of androgynous style. I really don't know how to represent my style with words, but that's how I kind of picture it anyway. And Maria, now I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one, Maria Hadjibatabatabatabata, her style I absolutely love. It's like straight off the runway. It's so out there, it's so edgy, and she just rocks it. I truly do believe that confidence is the way to wear anything, and I think she embodies that so much. And I really just like that blazer and that haircut, so that's why that one's on there. Obviously the picture of me and Oprah I have here. Now it's not actually because I specifically want to meet Oprah. Of course, if I had the opportunity to, I'm not gonna be like, no, I've got to wash my hair tonight. But it's more about Oprah's interview style. Ever since I started the podcast, have found such a love for interviewing people. I really, really do adore it. And I'm not sure if you saw Oprah on James Corden, but she just has this amazing interview style. And on that show, they were actually talking about how she always makes people cry because she's just so like, oh, just impactful.
Once on my show, a father said, every father has a dream for his children.
Oh, shut up.
Not that I want to make people cry, but I'd love to be able to just really get down to the like deep core of people's story and be able to share that with, you know, my audience or people globally. So that's kind of what that image there represents to me. This one down here is pretty much just the same as up top. It does represent the growth of the May Collective and Erin Henry. I want to reach as many people as possible and really help them to break out of their shell and become an amazing personal brand that really does makes changes in the world. So all of that represents that. These two here are kind of, you could say, the more ego-driven goals that I do have, but that's fine, whatever, I'm still happy to share. No secrets here. So this is actually an awards ceremony for women in Australia. There's lots of different categories. It's just a way to kind of recognize the work that Australian women are doing in multiple different industries. Entrepreneurship is one of them. There's also a Young Entrepreneurs Award for anyone under 30, which I would absolutely love to win. I still have 2 years to go. And 22 Management is an agency here in Australia that represents some of my biggest idols. It represents a lot of the news anchors. They really are just, you know, very Australian and very forward in that they're putting women out there and getting women's voices out there, and I really love that. But I would absolutely love to be able to do, you know, like, for example, like promotional jobs or TV ads and things like that here in Australia, and just be a woman's voice for the Australian entrepreneurial industry. I have this big vision of that, and 22 Management I think would be a really good company to work with on that. So these two images down here, what that actually represents to me, this is Samantha Wills. She's an amazing designer here from Australia. She lives in New York now, but she's a jewelry designer. I love her style. I love her ethos. She also has a foundation. She gets out there and motivates and inspires people by speaking. She's just an awesome human being, and I really do look up to her. But she also has a collaboration with one of the wineries here in Australia, Yellow Glen, who have an amazing sparkling range, and she has a collaboration with them on their Peacock Lane range. And what that actually represents to me is, what you might not know is one of my biggest goals, one of my like Gary Vaynerchuk goals. He has the jets. I actually want to run a winery, or not necessarily run it, but I'd love to own a winery or to develop my own line of wine. Obviously that is a huge goal for later in life, but something that would be a great segue into that is to collaborate with someone else, one of the already established wineries, on one of their labels and bring out like an Erin Henry, but it wouldn't obviously be called that. And that's what that kind of represents to me, that goal. Finally down here, I do have a picture of Paris that is covered up, which kind of just represents travel, not necessarily going to Paris. I went to Nice and Monaco and I loved them. Paris would be awesome too, but it really just represents getting out into the world and seeing as many places and as many of you as I can. And then finally, my gold glittery guitar. So if you follow me on Instagram, which if you're not, then you definitely should. But if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen that I recently started learning the guitar. Well, actually my first lesson is next week. I've wanted to learn the guitar since I was about 10, since my brother my brother's played the guitar his whole life. I tried to learn when I was about 18. I just wasn't in the right frame of mind to be taking lessons once a week. Probably just wanted to go out and party. But now that I'm much older, I am ready to pick up this hobby and I have started learning the guitar. My ultimate goal would be to work up to an electric guitar and basically just be able to shred the Stairway to Heaven all day long. And of course have a gold glittery guitar because why not? So that is pretty much it. That is my vision board. But as this was a tag, instead of tagging anyone else here on YouTube, what I would love to do is to tag all of you. I would love for as many people to jump on Laura's tag and to make a vision board video. So if you do make one, then do tag me in it and I will help to share it as much as I possibly can. But it'd be awesome if we can get this tag out to as many people as possible because I really love to see what other people are dreaming of. I really, really love to see what you're all dreaming of because you inspire me so much. You probably don't even understand how much all of you with your dreams and goals and ambitions inspire me. So I really hope my vision board also inspired you. Now what we're gonna do is jump into my laptop and I'm gonna show you exactly how I made that Oprah picture. So the first thing you want to do to create one of those photos is you want to make sure that you grab an image of the person that you are putting in the photo and yourself that kind of looks like they could go together. So what I'm going to just say at this point now is this is just for your own personal vision board. It doesn't have to be a award-winning Photoshop job. It doesn't have to look perfect, so don't stress yourself out too much. But what you want to do is just grab images that look like they could fit together. So this is actually the image that I found. Funnily enough, it is of Marie Folio, and funnily enough, she has kind of the same ring as me, so that looked pretty good when I left it in the image. But this is the image that I chose of Oprah, and then I've got this image of myself. Now, why I chose this was because the bodies are facing towards each other, so how I am positioned in this picture looks like I could be facing Oprah in this picture. Now, what we're actually going to do is you want to save this to your desktop, so just save it, and then you actually want to jump over to PicMonkey. I don't even do this in Photoshop, it's literally just done in PicMonkey online. It took me about 5 minutes. It's so basic. So what you want to do when you're in PicMonkey is actually open up the image that you would like to retain the background of. That's probably going to be the picture of you in most cases because it's more likely that you're going to be erasing, other things out of the other person rather than your picture. But either way, you might have to have a little bit of a fiddle around and see which works best for which image to be on the bottom. But basically all you're going to be doing is laying the other image over the top and then erasing stuff out of it. So I'm going to go with a picture of me to pop on the bottom here. So I'm just going to open up this image in PicMonkey, and then I'm going to open the other picture as an overlay. So I'm going to grab that picture of Oprah from my desktop and put that here as an overlay. Now what I want to do is kind of position the picture of Oprah the best I can without actually seeing myself underneath, and then position it so that there is similar in sizing of the two bodies. Now obviously it doesn't matter because I can change it later. But how I'm going to actually start to see whether or not this fits together is I'm pretty much just going to jump over, once this image is selected, to this eraser tool. I'm going to bring it up quite large just for now because as we're doing this rough job of taking Marie out, poor Marie, and then I'm pretty much just erasing this part of the image out. And what I'm going to do while I'm around Oprah, I'm just going to go a little bit more carefully to try get as much of Marie out as I can. But as I said, really don't stress yourself out because this is just for your vision board. It's not real, so, and you're the main person who's going to be looking at it. All right, so I'm actually just going to try resize this because you can see that I am looking much bigger than Oprah over here, as well as the fact that you can see my hand, which we don't want to see. So we definitely want some overlay of Oprah's face and mine. And then I'm just going to keep erasing. So it pretty much just is a mixture of like erasing and resizing until you get it to look neat and tidy. And then what I'm going to actually do is just crop it down a little bit. Obviously you don't want to be seeing my hands at the bottom here. So just crop it down so it looks a bit more real. Now I've gone very rough around Oprah's hair. When I was doing it for myself, I obviously took a little bit more care in actually making sure that it did look neat around the hair, but that's up to you. You can spend as little or as long as you want. The good thing is you can reduce the harshness of the eraser as well. So where there is something like hair there, then you can, you know, that looks terrible. But then you can go a little bit less harsh around the hair so it just blends in a little bit nicer. And then you want to go on and just, of course, clean up any little bits that you've left. And I've got Marie's shoulder over here. And then just click around, just make sure there is no bits left to make it look all crazy. But that is pretty much it. That is how I made my image with Oprah. So that is it for me. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to tag me if you do make one of these videos because I would love to see your board. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.